And Mane, is he okay? Will he start?
They were never mind games, to be honest. The players left the pitch in a week ago.
Oui, ces joueurs étaient blessés.
That they are not seriously injured. So, especially with Kylian, that could have happened in the situation where you go down like this. And so that's it. We always expected them to play. And Sadio was in the plane. So if nothing happened but I left the plane and went 1.5 hours to the press conference. So I'm not 100% sure how he is now. But when I saw him last, he was fine.
With Jordan being suspended for the weekend, does that guarantee him a start tomorrow night as well? And also, I just wonder what the thinking is when it comes to team selection, because obviously that midfield three did so well in the first game against PSG. So it would be very tempting to go with the same three again, but then is there also that thought, well, we need to do something different this time around?
Is it the first press conference we two have together? I speak about lineups in a press conference. Or
I'm not asking for the lineup.
I was only 1.5 hours in the car, not 4 days.
I'm asking about the dilemma, the thought process, because as I say, that three did so well in that first game against PSG. But then you obviously have to take into account whether you need to change it as well. I'm just wondering what you go through in terms of that thought process.
Yeah, you will still wondering the whole night, because I will not say anything about that. So we will see which midfield and offensive, which system actually. We have now at least one other system or whatever. We could really line up in a few different ways. So I understand your question, but
so you thought you'd take the mick out of me?
will still not answer.
Final one, Vinny.
What impact, the fact that whether you lose tomorrow night or not, it doesn't affect the fact that the qualification for the next phase is in your own hands. So how does that affect things going into the game?
We don't think too much. We know that, but we don't think too much about it. I think it really makes sense, because we are sportsmen and we want to win games, and that's quite a while ago that we won the last, actually. So it's like 4 or 5 weeks ago, and between then we played one time in Belgrade, and it was a really bad one. And so yeah, we know about the fact about the rules and all that stuff. And but we are here tomorrow night to win a football game with all we have. That's what we try. We don't go for a specific result or whatever. So we want to be as good as possible, and just for us in the first case, so and for our supporters, that we really can show, because it's a tough one to come to Paris and going for a result, but I think we should try. Now we are here, let's try.
Okay, we'll take 2 from John Murray, then David Lynch from the Evening Standard next to him, and then down to the gentleman in the row.
4 hours, the first French question. Yes,
well,
it's really nice.
Well, if they would
I spoke already to nearly all English.
If they would like to raise their hand, we'll take their question. John Murray, ask it in French if you wish, John.
Jurgen, I can't do that, I'm afraid. Neutrals will look at this game and think it is brilliantly poised in terms of the strengths of the two teams. Give us an overview of what might lie ahead tomorrow night.
I have no clue. How could I? That's what I love most in football, to be honest, that you don't know what will happen in the end. But of course, 2 very ambitious teams will face each other in a very, very interesting competition, in an interesting situation in the group, to be honest, because we and Belgrade brought Belgrade back in the group, to be honest. So that's how it is. So it's we go for everything, and that's how football should be. I think very often when you see groups after the draw, you think, okay, you know immediately who will go through. The first 2 are pretty clear, and most of the time. And in this group, it was from the beginning clear that's a difficult one, and now that's it. And we are here, and we never moaned about it. We didn't even think negatively about it. We wanted to. We were looking forward to the game in Paris. We don't play here very often, and it's a big task. It's just really exciting. And how I said a few times, the more difficult it is, the more I enjoy the preparation. Just because you have to think about pretty much everything, and not it's like you have to think about how to defend this and that, how to avoid this and that, how to play football by yourself, because that's the most important thing, and probably the thing which Paris is not used to that much in the league, because they are so dominant and we have to make sure that they are not that dominant against us, that we have possession and we do something smart with that. So that's all in our mind, and that in 2 training sessions, so actually in 1 today. So it was we enjoyed that. The weather was not too good in Liverpool in that moment, but the boys were 100% focused. We had 60-70 minutes on the pitch, really fully concentrated, and hopefully we can see that tomorrow night.
So when you are preparing for a match like this, with the individual talents that you'll face, how much concentration do you put on those talents?
No, look, it's much more difficult to prepare a game where my players don't know the opponents, which happens from time to time. And we give the boys always individual videos from players, like, is he going more on the right side, left side, stuff like that. For this generation of players, watch probably 500,000 YouTube videos of Mbappé and Neymar and Cavani and all that stuff. So it's not that important. They know more about these players and individual strengths than I do. But the thing in football is they only can shine when you get the ball. So you can shine without the ball, but until you get the ball in one moment, and so that means we have to defend them. That's how it works. You can close spaces. It's difficult, and if you don't close it one time with not only the quality but the speed of them, then they are away. If you are not compact, you have no chance. So that's all clear. But you have to be brave by yourself, and that's what we did in the first game. That was we were so attacking minded, even in our defending. We were constantly front-footed, really stepping in and winning the ball back and all that stuff. It's difficult then to play. We don't talk about it. I'm completely happy with our individual quality, but I believe 100% in the group. And that's the same probably for Thomas Tuchel with PSG. And so that's and it's not decided before the game, but it's interesting to watch, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, we're going to take David from the Evening Standard, then when they've got the next 3 sorted, which is the gentleman with the headphones, then the gentleman behind who's also got headphones, and the ladies in front. So, yes, David.
Jurgen, Adam Lallana's obviously not made the trip. Was he close to being fit? And is there any issue with Dom Solanke either?
Yeah. Adam, I think, is back on Thursday in training, but what I heard last, but it's obviously after the game tomorrow, and Dom has a little groin issue, happened in training. Div is not here, he's ill.
What is Adam's injury? Is it
nothing anymore? Actually, he's only on the way back. It was a minor muscle thing, nothing serious.
Okay, we're going to take the gentleman here who's leaning for the microphone. That's fine, and then it's going to be the gentleman behind for the next one after that. Yes, sir.
Bonsoir, coach.
Good evening, coach. So mine got injured. So how does it feel now? Sorry, I'm Senegalese, so I want to know. So it's a very important game tomorrow. How are you going to play against Paris tomorrow?
He will be fine. If he plays, we will see, but he's fine. Personally, he was in the plane and everything is fine. So good news to Senegal. And actually, I would want to play brave against Paris. That makes sense, in all different departments, that we really try to enjoy the game on a very difficult game, because in a game like this you need you need to be at your best in pretty much all departments, but especially kind of frustration tolerance, that you really are not annoyed by yourself or lose confidence in a situation when they pass you with the ball or with a run or whatever, and that's always a big challenge. But so far we enjoyed these games always, like we enjoyed it against City, like we enjoyed the last game against PSG, and it's always difficult. It's not that you play PSG, you win 3-2 and you think, we got it. That's how you beat them. it's actually it stays unbelievably difficult. But I think really, and that's important in that case, Paris knows as well that we are not easy to play, and that's what I have in my mind as well. So we have to be at our best, 100%. But if we are, then we are really not so nice to play, and it's not a big joy to play against us. And that's what we have to try to be again: a really ugly to play football team.
Okay, if we could pass the gentleman's got the microphone there.
Bonsoir coach.
Good evening, coach. Here's the erotic voice again. So what's your view about the PSG Champions League doesn't perform that well, and you perform well, so can you please help them and give them some advice maybe?
Interesting. No advice. No advice. And so I'm not in a position to give advice to other teams. Maybe you want to ask me. I could give advice how to win finals. That would be funny as well. So, but usually we are. How I said, we know it's difficult, but we know that it's really it's still possible, and that's actually the only thing I need to know to looking forward to a football game. And so it's long ago that I was here with Borussia Dortmund, played here a football game. It was different times, obviously. Yeah, it was 2009 or 10, something like that. So it's really long ago, but it was good, and we nearly won. And hopefully tomorrow we can perform really on our highest level, and then it will be an interesting game. That's all.
Okay. The lady here in the third row who has the microphone already.
Okay, last present with the voice. So from the first game was very different. So now maybe PSG is going to play differently. So what do you expect from them, given that both teams have played very differently lately?
Was going for playing for a result, but tomorrow actually I think they should win. So, but that's their nature. That's their nature to go for a win, and they played like that at Liverpool as well. I didn't see that they played any different, to be honest. They played how they play, but on a very high level. They have ball circulation. They keep the ball. They had different plans in that game, obviously, and we had to adapt to all of them, and we did quite well. And I think we had big parts of that game, but of course we scored the last goal. But we had apart from the goals we scored, we had still chances, and that's actually a sign for a good game, that you are really in it, and that you are really so I expect them to attack, and I expect them to defend when they have to, and they will try creative. And Thomas Tuchel is a very creative manager. He always works on solutions, and so that means that we have to be prepared for really different scenarios, and we try to give these advice and this information to our players, and tomorrow night we will see if it worked out.
Okay, we've got the final two questions. Gentleman who's got the microphone, and then gentleman who stood next to the...
The BBC Africa, I'm here. Earlier on, Thomas Tuchel said it's very difficult to control the results of matches like tomorrow night, and he suggested that your loss at Belgrade was perhaps because you were not at your best psychologically. On a night like this, how would you prepare your players to go into a match like this to be at their best psychologically?
So you ask me how I managed it, that my team was not at their best in Belgrade. And in the last 4 weeks, I'm now smarter and know how to do it again. So things like this happen. There's things like this happen. You try to avoid it with all you have, and then it happens. And you witness it, and you think, wow. And you want to change in half time, and have all the information from the first half, and you give all the information you have. And You cannot change it because that's dynamics, and that's why you have to try. You have to try to have a completely different start, but it's a completely different game. Nobody, not one single player, nobody outside, it expects us to be tomorrow the 500% better football team. So I think we expect that it will be tight. If both teams play on the highest level, then it should be a good game, actually. And then little mistakes can make the decision, can be decisive. That's how it is. I'm not worried. And my team, I'm now together with them for 3 years and 1.5 months roundabout. And in this time, they were always psychologically ready. And if they weren't there at their best and for whatever reason at Belgrade, yeah, then I can easily accept that because that's only one time. Napoli was a completely different game, strong opponent, nothing to do with the Belgrade game. I have to accept that, and I don't have to put the finger constantly in and say, but don't forget Belgrade was rubbish. So it's over. It's gone. We played already a few other games, won all of them, and the boys performed really well. So why should I talk about that? We will be ready tomorrow night. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. And the gentleman on the wings there for the finish up.
Sega Diallo, Football Factory Guinée. Vous avez parlé récemment.
You have talked about Keita recently, using protective terms, protective vocabulary. Do you think he can adapt, or has not reached the level to play tomorrow?
He is an outstanding player. By the way, congratulations for the qualification for the Africa Cup of Nations. First time in how many years? 4 years. Oh, good. Then it's congratulations. Yeah. And we were not there the last year, right? Last tournament we were not there, right? So good. So they are there again because of Nabi, for example. And he's an outstanding player. He was. I don't read English press, but this week I catch the headline and I said something. What I said, I didn't say it like this. Or I didn't mean it like that. Nabi was not average since he's in. The situation after he got injured was average because you have to get fit again. But the start was brilliant, and he will be a massive player in the future for LFC, and he is already because he's now really fit. He looks in training sharp. But how it is in a club like us, sometimes you have to wait a bit longer for the moment, and then if you get the moment, then you have to be ready. That's how it is. He's an outstanding player, and I'm really happy to have him.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you to the translator at the back in the box there. If you'd like to take this with you, you're more than welcome. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.